Hey buddies, this is Awesome,
And this is Adman,
and this is Random Shit.
with Awesome and Adman.
So we just saw a little movie called The Avengers, Asian Ultron, which is an interesting name. But we're going to talk about it, and then at the end we'll tell you whether or not you should see it. Because, you probably haven't seen it yet. Oh, by the way, we're just going to spoil the whole movie.
Yeah, spoiler alert for, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Austin, whatever his name is, he claims that we're going to spoil all of Phase 2.
Well, not really.
We might, but I haven't seen
the thing
any
is,
of Phase 2 except for this and Guardians.
So if there's anything I need to fill him in on while we talk, then I will. But, you don't really need to have seen all of Phase 2 to have enjoyed the movie anyway, so it's not a big deal. And he can vouch for that since he...
That was something I didn't know, and I still didn't... I guess, I don't know, I may have enjoyed the movie. You have to find out later. So what was your favorite part?
Well, I loved how, it's amazing because it, jumps right into incredible action stuff. And it's, most of the stuff that you saw in the trailers happens before the opening title even rolls, which is amazing. You know, that one shot where it's all of them just flying forward and attacking everybody. Oh, that's one thing. It's not, the best action I've ever seen in any movie, but it's just all really, really good, and it happens for so much of the movie. I was really missing something like that for summer movies so far.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen it yet, but we did another video outside of Toys R Us waiting for Greninja, where I talked about how I just wanted a fun superhero a superhero movie that didn't take itself seriously, and I was so sad because I thought we'd never get it. And then, days later, out comes the perfect superhero movie. It's funny, no one takes it seriously. Captain America will be pinned down, dying, and just say something stupid
I
need backup.
Yeah, the banter from everybody,
just magical.
I'm kind of surprised at how, some of the trailers made me think it was going to be super dark and really down on itself, and it wasn't. Only good stuff happened the whole time. It got a little bit, the stakes got a little bit high, but it never really got
cracking jokes.
Yeah,
they had a million people up in the sky and billions of people down on the ground that were going to explode, and they were telling jokes. Yeah. It was wonderful.
I gotta love the chemistry between all of the team and everything.
But my favorite part of the movie was Hawkeye.
They really stepped up with him. I know, because I feel like a lot of people were complaining about him not being as, kind of witty and snarky as he is in the comics. But I kind of feel like that's shown through a lot more in this one.
I think they were worried that the actor, whose name I know, was going...
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah, Jeremy Renner. Was going to leave because he didn't do anything in the first Avengers movie. He showed up, and you're like, oh, who's this new superhero? And then he gets brainwashed, and then you find out that he doesn't have any powers, and then the movie's over, and you're like, oh. And he was like, oh. Everyone was sad about it. So then they decided to make this movie, which is about Hawkeye.
Yeah, they really beefed up his role just all around. He kind of was a little bit... Well, he always kind of already is, because he's, just a normal guy with all of these super powered people. But, that way he sort of kind of becomes, the heart of the team a little bit. It's not, cheesy that way.
I propose that he's the main character in this movie.
Well, if you've got your everyman.
We meet his family, his wife and kids that live on a farm. He's a farmer / superhero.
Well,
it's just so cool. And he has all the best lines. He leads the team in all the action scenes. Iron Man makes an offhand comment that Captain America's in charge. But then Hawkeye's in charge for the whole movie. I don't understand why Captain America's in charge. I guess because he's the oldest.
Well, and even in the comics way back in the day when Hawkeye first joins the team, he's got kind of a whole thing where he's like, oh, Cap, you suck. You're an old guy. He's like, I can do anything. You can do better. You can do, kind of thing.
I can do anything better than you?
Yeah, that thing.
No, you can't.
Yeah. Well, Hawkeye can, but...
yeah, he can.
Yeah, what?
Yes,
he can. And I can see if maybe people still don't quite, he's not everybody's favorite after this. But, I hope that people, have a more positive opinion of Hawkeye after this movie.
I don't see how he could not be someone's favorite. He's my favorite superhero now, because all other superheroes, Superman is a superpowered alien, Batman is a billionaire, Iron Man is a billionaire, Hulk smash, Even Russian spy is a Russian spy. Like that's a superpower. And she
went through
doesn't
like
have-
this whole program that like molded her into what she is. I mean, yeah, she's the one who survived, but like
She
they were
spent her
set up
whole
to make
life
her. Yeah.
being a Russian spy. Like we don't know Hawkeye's origin story yet. I'm sure Austin does, but I don't.
It's a little bit varied.
All I know is that he has a wife and kids, and he's funny, and he's smart, and he's a good-looking dude, and he's just awesome. Like, I want to grow up and be Hawkeye, but there's no way I could ever grow up and be like Captain America. Like, I'm not going to join the military so that they can experiment on me and then freeze me during World War II. Like, that's probably not going to happen. But I could grow up and have a wife and kids and live on a ranch and be really good at archery and be a government agent badass. And give, like, inspirational speeches to little Russian girls that you find?
Well, I'm not sure how much the awesome archery would figure into the super spy stuff, but yeah, it's the most feasible so far out of most of the guys.
And he gives this inspirational speech at the end, which is spoilers,
Yeah.
to Scarlet Bitch, where he's like, she's like freaking out, like, oh, this is all my fault, it's all my fault. And he's like, we are on an island in the sky, and there's robots everywhere, and I have a bow and arrow. I'm gonna go out there and fight robots. If you want to stay here, that's fine. But if you come out there, you're an adventurer. And it's just ridiculous and silly. Like, it's a silly speech, but he delivers it seriously, and it is just magical.
Well, serious, but not like, also not like dour and super serious. I mean, he's like, yeah, we could all die, but it's like, it's just what we get. This is what we have to do. This is what we do because it's what we gotta do, and
He's like, seriously, this is ridiculous. We gotta go.
It's like, I've been there. And I loved there was the one moment where, like, everybody's minds were getting messed with by the Scarlet Witch, and comes up behind him, and he's the only one who, like, reacts fast enough and knocks her down. He's like, I already did the mind control thing. It's like, awesome. It was awesome.
So there's a super badass in the movie who doesn't have a name, but the guy next to me goes, oh, that's Vision. Who's Vision?
Vision?
Yeah. Well, I guess I know now, but
yeah, pretty
is
much.
Vision?
I mean,
is that his origin story?
Yeah, Ultron's whole thing is a little bit different because he was made by a different guy who they just haven't.
Made by Ant-Man, right?
Well, he was made by Hank Pym, who became Giant Man, but then also became Ant-Man, and also is now like Yellow Jacket, which is a kind of a B thing. He can grow and shrink.
Oh,
but but the guy who's going to be an Ant-Man is a different guy who becomes Ant-Man after he becomes Yellow Jacket. So, and he's like a former thief trying to, its name is Scott Lang. It's a whole other thing. But basically they didn't introduce him, so that's why they wanted to do Ultron, but make him the way he did. But Vision's story is pretty much the same as it was in the comics, although they made him like way more badass, even though he was already badass. Like, when he showed up in the comics, he pretty much took out all of the Avengers by himself. But yeah, that's what he was. He was created by Ultron after Hank Pym made Ultron, and he was Ultron trying to make his own perfect machine too. And he's just got so many cool powers. It's just, most people thought he would look silly because of like his color scheme, but I thought the way he was designed was just so awesome. I mean, I feel bad for spoiling stuff, but it's just so much cool stuff they do with Vision, and he doesn't even show up until like more than halfway through the movie. And
but who's Vision? Like, what does he do? What does he just do? Like Superman?
Well, he's a super powerful android. He's got like super strength. He can shoot a laser out of the jewel in his head, and he can fly. And you couldn't really tell. They didn't really get into it in the movie, but I could kind of see him doing it in some of the action scenes. He's also basically can do what Shadowcat does, but also go in the other way.
Through things? Yeah, I saw him do that.
He can make himself...
Giving people hugs, and then they exploded!
Well, he can make himself intangible, so he can pass through things, but he can also make himself super dense. So he can make himself, like, way... I think I remember a cartoon once where he was fighting somebody, and he just flew up above them, like, everybody else was getting their ass kicked, and he just increased himself to his maximum density. It was like some 100,000 tons or something, and just landed on the guy.
Oh, that's brutal. And it was a cartoon, so he probably didn't die. He had to live through that.
Oh, no, he was the guy they were fighting was so powerful they didn't even beat him with that.
But, oh my gosh. Who were they fighting?
I can't even remember.
You can't remember it was that powerful?
But the cartoons, they go through lots of people. It's like a new bad guy every episode. But no, Vision, he was so badass, and the thing is, I'm a little worried about him now because the stone in his head, it's not just a random stone, it's one of the freaking Infinity Gems.
Yeah, and that angry purple dude is going after him. So he put on his punching fist. At the end of the movie, spoilers, he puts on his punching fist and goes to go punch himself some jewels.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is the end credit scene, we see Thanos is the guy, and he actually gets the Infinity Gauntlet, which makes me a little bit worried because I don't know if you know this, because did you ever see Thor?
Yeah, I saw Thor.
One. Okay, there's just, unless you like looked it up on the internet, it's just in one scene as they're at the beginning of the movie when those frost giants are going through the treasure vault that they've got, and it's in Odin's treasure vault. That's where the Infinity Gauntlet is.
In Odin's?
And on Asgard.
Oh.
So if that's him grabbing that now, and like Thor was having all those visions of Asgard being destroyed and stuff.
Asgard. We'll never stop laughing.
We got Asgard, and then we got Midgard right up above it, and no, but yeah, so that might be what Thor's going to be walking into in his next movie, which is called Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, is that the...
That's basically...
It's the ship from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but it's also the...
Is it a sword from Final Fantasy also?
Yes, but it's what it is in mythology.
Is it a bad guy?
It's the Armageddon of the Norse gods, Adam.
Oh.
And everything in Final Fantasy is based off all terms from all different mythologies. So yeah.
Oh. So...
Yeah.
Everyone from the Thor movies is dead now? Is that why they're all crying? Like, oh, we're all dead.
Possibly.
So wait, were those visions... Was that vision like a scary nightmare that Scarlet Witch put into his head? Or
kind of a premonition.
Or did she unlock a future?
Well, it's hard to say, too, because, I mean... It's, comic sci-fi stuff, they can do whatever they want. But what makes me think his might have been a little bit different than when she messed with everybody else is because he's an alien, Asgardian god type character. And, like, his people actually, they've already got into it, like on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There was a Kree that shows up on Earth, and then Thor's not girlfriend because he's going out with the human girl, but the Asgardian girl, Sif, she shows up and has to deal with him. And we find out that, the Asgardians and the Kree, they really don't get along with each other all that much.
And like in Oklahoma?
A little bit. But the thing about... And I think Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, I think they're Inhumans, basically. Instead of mutants, since, the movie rights are all tied up with that. So if Scarlet... And the Inhumans, they were kind of basically created by the Kree. So her powers might mess with him a little bit differently. Just because, and they're all different physiologies, they've gone into, for the Inhumans, a little bit how their bodies aren't the same as humans anymore after they've changed. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe, everybody else just got their nightmares and saw what, they really didn't want to see, but Thor actually saw something that's going to happen. It's hard to say.
It is hard to say.
I mean, something bad is going to happen in a movie called Ragnarok.
Yeah, but everything about Thor's world is hard to say.
It's awesome, though. I really like... I love all these movies. They're just... I mean, I maybe wasn't as quite so blown away by this Avengers movie as the last one, but only because I hadn't seen anything quite like that the first time.
Do you think that, like, 1,000 years from now, people will write superhero comics about, like, Jesus and the mythologies that, like, we hold now? Leave in the comments if you know of one. Is there a superhero comic about Jesus?
I'm sure there are comics that have been, they're probably more a little bit geared toward Christian stuff, and sometimes I'm not sure how often Jesus has been used, but sometimes they like use the devil in certain things. But
I've seen Bible Man. Don't comment Bible Man. I don't.
But there's books about how, some people have ideas. Like I think it's Grant Morrison has a book, or Alan Moore or somebody, about how superheroes are kind of replacing, gods, like mythological, as far as our myths and stuff in the popular culture's mind, kind of thing, because the stories are kind of very similar, and even the lessons you have to learn, the basic morals that you have to deal with in a lot of them, they're very much the same, and it's just what people have been exposed to for so long. I don't know. I mean, it's possible it might come to the point where, you know, I mean, you know, like, frickin', isn't Star Trek or, I don't know, Star Wars, one of them has, like, a religion based around it or something?
Well, I don't want to talk religion right now, but the Force makes so much sense. It puts, if you look at Star Wars and then you look at Christianity, it makes so much sense to think of God as the Force, as everything that connects everything. And then Jesus was a Jedi. I don't know.
It's a thought.
It is a thought, and now it is on film. Everyone knows that I thought that thought.
But, oh, just so much cool stuff. I
like the part, there was one part where it went boom, and there's a big explosion, and the fire looked so cool. It was in 3D. I wanted to, like, touch the fire, but I knew better than to touch the fire. That would be hot.
I really liked, I never felt there was a time during any of the action. A lot of it got really crazy, and there was a lot of destruction, but I never felt like it was intentionally obscuring my view of anything.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Transformers, just explosions.
Yeah, and you know, since Days of Future Past has come out, people were like talking shit about how there's no way Quicksilver can be anywhere near as awesome as he was in that movie, and blah 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 blah.
He was really good in the Avengers.
But yeah, he was. I mean,
spoilers.
Okay, well that's all. You know,
but this is some more spoilers.
Oh,
the Quicksilver dies, which made me so sad.
It was I thought
just a waste.
That was kind of a problem.
I love Hawkeye. He's great.
I was actually sure that something bad was going to be happening to Hawkeye for most of the movie, and especially once his family showed up, and like something that I hadn't mentioned to you or anything. I kind of got into comics a little bit when the Ultimate Run was kind of going. It died out, but I got into that for the most part. And in that one, it's really weird what they do with Black Widow. She actually ends up being super evil, but she's like still really good friends with Hawkeye, and she ends up killing his family like in front of him. It's so messed up.
It sounds like a good friend.
Well, they made her really bad. Like, she killed real human Jarvis and, like, seduced Tony and almost killed him.
Real human Jarvis. Okay, who's real human Jarvis?
In a lot of stories, Jarvis is an actual person. Lately they've been turning him into the AI and almost everything because it's useful. But that's kind of weird. Is now we don't have a Jarvis at all, and he's just the actor is now Vision. But
yeah, was that actor doing voiceovers for like 5 movies?
Yes, for all of.
Then he shows
ever
up
since
on screen,
the first Iron Man.
He's in that good of shape.
Well, he's done a lot of things. Do you remember? He's done a lot of stuff. Do you remember like seeing the Da Vinci Code? Did you ever see that one?
I saw it, but I don't remember.
Well, he was like not like the ultimate bad guy, but you know the main grunty. You know,
no, it's right here. Let's read the Da Vinci
Code.
All right, guys. Now we're all gonna sit together and go to the part.
No, we're getting a little bit off topic. No, but you know,
you've got cool books.
None of these are mine.
Oh wow! What are these? The comics?
Adam, you are getting incredibly distracted.
Oh, but you've got books, man.
Yeah, none of these are mine.
Oh, there's Scott Pilgrim over there. Hey guys, Scott Pilgrim. Oh, sorry. Catch her with her eye.
Adam.
Okay. But that dude was in good shape.
He is like a movie star. He's done lots of stuff.
Oh, he is a movie star. He's a badass superhero.
Not like and now he's gonna get a whole lot more work just because he's now part of the main cast for Avengers officially. But no, he's been around ever since the first Iron Man. He's been there. Yeah.
At the end, we got our reveal of the new Avengers.
Yeah, the team kind of split up, but they brought in a few other people.
Oh, spoilers! And, everyone quit. Everyone quit. We're left with
everybody.
We're left with Russian Spy and American Spy, and Hawkeye.
I'm not. Was he even standing with him though? I don't think he was standing with.
No,
the final
Hawkeye.
lineup at the
Hawkeye
end.
went home.
Yeah,
he had a wife and
sort
kids,
of retired,
so
he'll probably not show up for a little while.
He wanted to go knock out the. Yeah. Oh my god, my favorite line in the whole movie. So, Black Widow and Hawkeye are driving real fast on the floating island trying to save people, and he's like, "I know what I need to do," and she goes, "What?" And he goes, "I need to knock out that window or that wall in the dining room."
Oh yeah,
he's talking about renovating his house.
Well, because there's a moment when he's talking to his wife before the big final battle, and he's like constantly renovating his house and everything, and he's like, "As soon as I get back and we finish this project, it's the last one." Just like, yeah, but you'll find something else to do. He's like, no, this is the last one, and it's like, oh, he's gonna hang up the bow and he's gonna be done with everything. But then he's like,
But no, he needs to knock down that wall in the dining room.
yeah, but they
And
kind
she
of
goes with it. She's like, yeah, no one eats in the dining room. You guys just eat in the kitchen. He's like, exactly.
well because they're like I mean it's I guess it's supposed to be kind of like a brother sister bond, but since it's Natasha, it's like they're like bros almost, you know?
Yeah, they're like old school work buddies.
Yeah, awesome.
Work brothers.
But they also kind of just then going back to the whole thing with Quicksilver because
Died.
but then that's kind of why they made it do like a full 360 on his positioning there. Because he's like, oh, I'm in this, and I love it, and I can't give it up again. And then it's like, oh, no, I gotta go save this kid and sacrifice myself. But, oh, no, this awesome new guy went ahead and sacrificed himself to save the both of us. And it's like... But the thing is, it's comics, so nothing is certain.
Yeah, he's still on the boat.
I mean...
with them.
Yeah, I mean...
But she
reacted like he...
Scarlet Witch felt him die. Like, you could see it on her face.
But the thing is, I was explaining this to you before the movies. There's this whole thing in the comics where Scarlet Witch erases most of the powers from most of the mutants. And what... she actually... Her whole family loses their powers. And then that really eats at Quicksilver because, you know, he lost everything. And in the comics... he gets involved with, like, the princess of the Inhumans. And he exposes himself to the stuff that turns people into Inhumans, and it gives him his powers back.
Oh, the same powers?
Yeah, same powers, but he also can, like, touch other mutants who've lost their powers and give them their powers back, but more powerful than they were.
Oh.
And since they turned them into Inhumans for this series anyway, I mean, the only reason I can see for them to not have him around is because they've like worked out some background deal with Fox to make it so that, okay, we're not going to keep using Quicksilver, but you guys can't use Scarlet Witch or something like that. But I can't see them doing that. I don't know why, but I just don't feel like that's...
Well, I could see it happening because business.
I mean, that's true.
It's the evil Lord Business, man. He's come to ruin more playtime.
But I mean, the Inhumans are becoming so big. Well, but then again, I guess they really don't need him. But he was just so cool.
He was really cool. But he was like Russian or something. Where were they from? Were they Russian?
It was
so former Soviet.
Eastern European.
Eastern Europe.
And you know, that's all you really need. In the comics, they're always like gypsies or something like that. You know, they don't.
That's when they were orphans.
Yeah.
Their parents died, which is a really easy way to take care of all those X-Men that they were born to.
Well, and like, you know, there are people that didn't even weren't even born with their powers in this. They have those experiments done on them. You hearing them talk about that.
Which was really weird because someday this universe is going to merge with the X-Men universe.
But it's slow but sure, you know. Well, I don't know. I almost see us going through maybe at least one more. I don't even know what to call it, you know. Like, they reboot the X-Men once more, still under that studio, and then we finally get it absorbed in.
Really? That'll be like 15 more years.
Well, I mean, that one might not work so well, because it's going to be coming off of having Hugh Jackman be Wolverine. And that's when
aren't they talking about doing that? Rebooting it with a new Wolverine?
That's what they would have. That's what would signal the reboot of the universe. Because everybody else, they can mess with things, and they already have done that. And, like, I saw a tweet from IGN about showing you stuff about the 80s look for Jean Grey and Jubilee. And I'm sure, and I feel like they've already gone through, you know, 2 background Jubilee characters that didn't do anything, but were there. And it's like, Shadowcat's played by a different person in the first 3 X-Men movies, each movie. It's really weird, but yeah.
I'm sad that the X-Men movies still haven't used Cyclops for anything. Nothing. He's done nothing. They set out in the first one to prove that he was the status quo, and Wolverine came to challenge that because Wolverine was the Maverick, the rebel. And then he never did anything. He just stood in the background and was like, Jean, where are you? Can't see anything.
I know. And he actually gets kind of... I mean, he's always the Boy Scout, but he actually gets kind of awesome hit points in the comic. And
he shoots lasers out of his eyes.
And there's even this whole What If universe where Captain America goes like rogue with the Scarlet Witch, and they're gonna mess stuff up, and they're like, we need like Cap's like the best tactician we've got. We need the second best one to lead the attack against them. And then we go and get Cyclops. And I'm like, really? He's that good? Okay. But oh, one thing in the movie in Avengers, we got really off topic on what we started talking about.
Well, we started talking about superhero
movies,
and
it was really it was so fast, and it happened like right after a joke. I don't remember. It was one that Black Widow had, and she was talking to Tony about something, to Iron Man about something. And she said something, and it was a joke, and everybody was laughing, and I almost missed it because she called him Shellhead. And it's not like a huge thing, but that's what a lot of people call him. It's just a nickname for Iron Man because he's, got the armor on his head, and,
he's a shell of a time.
He's Shellhead, and, and everybody's got their own. I think, like, they used to call Cap Winghead because he had the wings on the side.
Why did they take those away?
Because they look silly.
They're so stupid.
They look really silly.
Yeah. They do.
And
so many people were dressed up as superheroes. So cool.
The only people that went all out were both like Captain America guys.
Well, he's the easiest one to do.
He is.
Like, it's nice out, but it's not nice enough to go as Hulk, and no one's in shape yet.
And honestly, like when I think about all of the Avengers, they're awesome as characters, but like this is what I wore there. It's one of my Captain America shirts.
I wore the best superhero of all time, Anakin Skywalker. I mean, he was way better before he got badly burned. When he was.
Really, was he though? I don't think anybody likes him at that point of his life.
Because a true hero doesn't let emotion get in the way. And even though he was falling in love with the shitty romantic opposite, he did not let emotion get in the way of his lines that he had to deliver.
That's true.
He did it. He was a hero. He was a hero. So few people could have trudged through.
But as far as the Avengers go, this is like kind of the only one I really want to wear on a t-shirt that much. Because Iron Man's my favorite Avenger, but Iron Man shirts don't look cool. I don't like them. It's like I don't want to just wear the thing that looks like I have Iron Man's torso piece on. Because if you're gonna dress up as Iron Man, you gotta go out and try to dress up the whole way. And that's so much effort. What's the point? And like the Hulk, I mean, like again, what is it gonna just be like a green torso shirt that looks all muscular?
See, what I would do if I wanted to go as Hulk is I would work out for like 2 years, really hardcore. And then paint myself green.
Well, yeah, and like
that's the only way to do Hulk.
Like I had that. I mean, I'm kind of glad I didn't, but I had the thought of trying to do that going as Dr. Manhattan for.
Oh no one wants to see your blue dick hanging out.
I was gonna be after when he started wearing,
like wear a suit or some shit.
No, he has. It's only when he first gets formed that he's naked. Because
he's
everyone
naked
else,
in the whole movie.
He isn't.
He isn't.
No, only.
That's all I remember about that movie.
He's only naked. In front of people that he, knows won't be too weirded out by it. He doesn't, for public appearances, he always wears at least the freaking, like, Speedo thing. I mean, he's going in front of strangers, yeah. It's only, like, in front of What's-Her-Face, and the not Batman character, and,
Not Batman character? You're talking
it's
about
Silk Spectre 2 and Night Owl. I know who everybody is, I don't
know who they all are.
I know you don't know who they all are, that's why it doesn't matter.
Somewhere. I saw it earlier. Where is it? Oh, it's Watchmen.
Yeah, I know.
It's all of them, man.
In any case, yeah.
Well, stay tuned. It may have been good. We're still coming to that decision.
Are we really? It just talked about how awesome so many things are.
So many
Captain
things,
Awesome talks about how awesome
Now we're going to talk about our problems with the movie. Do you have any problems with the movie?
My biggest one was the whole thing with Quicksilver, but I am still hoping they kind of backpedal on that. Or, do some... Yeah, they left it really open, There wasn't, like, too much... I mean, there was a lot of very subtle hinting at what might come to happen, but there wasn't too much, obvious hinting, if that makes sense. It's like, obviously, yeah, we've got our new lineup of Avengers for what might functionally be at least the next Avengers movie and what maybe will happen. Because I think the whole lineup for them may even change during and by the end of the next Captain America movie. Because
everyone will be dead.
No, well,
Civil War, dude. Everyone's gonna die.
Adam, you have no idea what Civil War is. Do you know how many people died though?
No,
like 2.
Who died?
Goliath.
Who's that?
Basically, Black Giant Man.
Oh.
There was and that was a whole thing.
Who else died?
I don't know. A couple of bad guys that got conscripted to help the government. But they got killed by the Punisher, so...
Well, then how is it a war?
Because it's good guys fighting good guys and, like, in front of civilians and shit, because It's
Do
like
any civilians get hurt or anything?
well, that's what
No one dies and no one gets hurt.
in the
Nothing
comics.
bad
What
happens.
sets it off is there's a group of young superheroes that like have their own reality show about going out and busting bad guys, and they're trying to get like famous, and they go and attack a group of supervillains who are like in hiding in a neighborhood, and the fight gets pushed to like right next to a school, and one of the bad guys, his power is basically
Killing children?
no, he explodes.
Oh, he explodes children.
No, he just explodes himself,
But he ends up exploding children?
and all of that, and all the superheroes and a good chunk of the town.
Oh.
And like he had even also like juiced up his power, so the explosion was way bigger than anyone expected it was going to be, and they shouldn't have. And like there's a whole uproar because it's this tragedy these superheroes caused and killed all these children or whatever and everything, and then that calls for governments to regulate all the superheroes. So it's like if you're running around in a costume and trying to fight crime, and the government doesn't know who you are, you're breaking the law. And we'll go and throw you in superhero prison, which is pretty messed up because it's in like the alternate dimension that the Fantastic Four discovered.
Oh. So Captain America is for it and Iron Man is against it?
Nope.
Other way around?
Yep.
Captain America is against it? But
Captain America is about people's freedoms. He fights for what America is supposed to be, which is not what America's always doing.
So he doesn't just listen to America?
You gotta see Captain America too, Adam. It is probably the best Marvel movie.
Wait, is he who I want to vote for president?
Yes.
I never knew that.
See, yeah, like the whole thing about in Captain America 2, spoiling a little bit of that, so yeah, we're gonna get into it now.
Okay, he's gonna do spoilers.
What? No, but I mean, because there's just this huge thing. You find out that Hydra was active, growing in S.H.I.E.L.D. for years and years and years and years and years.
Hydra?
Yeah.
What?
Hydra is like,
The Nazis?
yeah, the double Nazis.
The double Nazis?
It was a joke that Adam had told me. Our friend Adam.
We have another friend named
We have
Adam.
another friend named
Someday
Adam.
maybe he'll be on the show, but he's not here right now.
Yeah. Wow. But it was actually a joke that someone else had told him, and he was like, the Red Skull is just like the double Nazi. They even do the salute with both hands. That's what they do. It's like, Hail Hydra!
Double Nazis?
Double Nazi? Yeah, they use both hands.
Why
for
are
the
they
salute.
double Nazis? Do they want to kill all the Jews
They're the Nazis.
and the non-Jews?
Well, and also because in the comics specifically, and it was a little bit even in that, because he was like, yeah, I want to kill everybody who's against me. And it's like, and basically, he was the one who was so evil that he got kicked out of the Nazis for being too evil. So, yeah. But yeah. And it was played by Agent Smith from The Matrix. Hugo Weaving. Elrond from
that
Lord
guy
of the
is
Rings.
evil.
Yeah, and he's the Red Skull, and he's so awesome.
Is Red Skull going to show up again?
Well, I mean, it's comics.
Did
so
he die
possibly.
like 70 years ago? Did Captain America throw him down?
No.
A thing? Were they standing on a metal bridge and then he threw him down a thing?
Do you remember the
what happened?
Tesseract?
Yes. Is that what happened in Captain America? Did he throw him down a thing?
No, they were fighting inside of his flying thing that was going to destroy America or whatever. And they were fighting over the Tesseract, and he picked it up. And, he got disintegrated or maybe transported, since we've seen that it opens up portals in space and whatever.
So he's
somewhere
totally just
else.
somewhere else. That's what happened.
But it looked like he got disintegrated, but it's comics, so it may not be.
But wait, the Tesseract, is that has an Infinity Gem in it, right?
Yeah, we saw.
What does it have?
It gets a little confusing, because in the comics, it's well established what each of the Infinity Gems is called, and the various effects that it can have, and what color it is. They've changed that for the movies so far. And it showed us, actually, because it's been a little bit more nebulous. The only one we saw purely as its stone form was from your favorite Marvel movie, The Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's exactly how that purple one looked after they finally opened. I think it was.
I don't know what's up there. My favorite one has to be Hulk.
Well, you really like the movies that much, though. I mean, you just like Hulk. Come on.
Hulk? No, the first one.
Really?
Hulk.
With
Oh,
Ang Lee?
it was terrible. I like terrible movies. Okay, you keep talking. I'm gonna think. What's my favorite Marvel?
Yeah, and then we saw the other ones, and like people have thought that.
Oh, wait, spoilers! It's Avengers 2.
Yes.
Okay, well,
but people have ever since the first Avengers movie, when they saw Loki like controlling people's minds with that scepter thing, they thought that that was the Mind Stone.
It is the Mind Stone,
and it is the Mind Stone. But the thing is, the Mind Stone is supposed to be blue. And when I saw the Tesseract, and I was like, that thing's got to be one of the Infinity Gems, and it's blue, so I thought it was the Mind Stone, and that like, and at first I thought like it had drawn from the power of the Tesseract to have that Loki spear actually do that, but then yeah, like later on in the movie, it just breaks open and it's the gem.
Spoilers. Where's Loki?
Where's Loki? Oh,
is he in jail?
He was in jail after the Avengers and at the beginning of Thor 2. And in the course of Thor 2, the Dark Elves show up, and then there's this. There's this whole other fight between the Dark Elves and the Asgardians because another Infinity Stone has shown up.
Which one?
In that one, it's the Ether, and because you remember in Thor's visions, we saw all 4 of the stones kind of cycle through, and there was the one that started out. It was like kind of like liquid stuff flying in space before it. Did you see that? It was really quick. So
it was really quick. Yeah. I kind of remember it. I don't know how you remember these things, dude. But
well, I mean, because
I'm glad you explained it to me after.
Yeah, I mean, it was a quick thing, and we've seen that like apparently all the Infinity Stones are being kept inside of random other things, because it was obvious that the one from the Guardians was inside that orb thingy, but then the Tesseract isn't an Infinity Stone because we saw it break open and the Infinity Stone is actually inside it, and then the Ether, it was like...
Wait, when did they break open the Tesseract?
They didn't, but it was in his...
but Thor saw it break open.
Yeah, he saw all 4 of those, like, and then they were all lined up in space. And
are there only 4? I thought there were 5.
There are 6.
Oh, there's 6
2 more
now.
are going to show up, but it's the... I guess it's because he was like, he's become aware of the ones that have actually been revealed, and these have all, their powers have been activated.
Oh, another
kind of
tied for favorite line. Thor is leaving, and he says, like, oh, many Infinity Stones have been showing up in the past few years. Something must be up. And I'm like, you know that they're making the Infinity War movies. Thor, he saw them. He saw the previews.
But Loki... Because you asked me about Loki, and we haven't even gotten... Yeah, he's locked up at the beginning of that one. And then that shows up, and then, even though he's locked up the whole time, Thor eventually goes, because he wants his help to go on a super secret mission that Odin doesn't want him to go on.
What's the super secret mission? To fight the Dark Elves?
Well, to stop them. Something bad happens. Thor's mom gets killed by the bad guy.
Thor had a mom?
Yeah.
Was she in Thor?
Yeah. And she cared about Loki too, and he's like, you never loved me. He's like, of course I loved you. And then he's like, he's actually like super pissed off and like destroys his cell when he finds out that she died. And then Thor lets him out to go and help him. And then Loki does his tricky things. We think that he's betrayed Thor. We think he's not. And then there's a whole fight with the big monstery guy, not the final bad guy of that movie. And it looks like Loki gets killed. But then we find out at the very end he just tricked them and actually went back to report on his own death to his dad, and at the very end of the movie you see Thor talking to Odin and decide to give up the throne because he doesn't want to rule, and as Thor walks away, the last thing we see is Odin turns into Loki.
So Loki got murdered by Thanos.
But not Thanos.
At some point between Thor 2 and Avengers 2?
I have no idea. See, that's the thing, is we don't know what happened, what's going on in Asgard right now.
Okay, so apparently I missed a bunch of really good movies.
I'm kind of surprised you chose, I
only go to movies that you call me and say, like, dude, at midnight. And I never go to the movies that you call me the next day and you're like, dude, I went and saw this movie.
So you only go see a movie if I'll go see it with you.
Well, I don't want to go see a movie alone, and like my sister doesn't want to go see, like, you're my nerdy friend, okay?
Good point.
All my other nerdy friends are super flaky, like, we have to go work on computers, I don't have time to... yeah, that's right, Lenhart, I'm talking about you. You didn't even answer the phone when I tried to invite you to Avengers, man. But shout out to the Coach Adair on Twitter, or I don't know. His name is Parker, and he's my really good friend. And yesterday was his 31st birthday. He is an old man now. And he snuck out while his wife was asleep to go watch the superhero movie with us. And he also wore a Captain America shirt. And
Nice.
I didn't know until today that Captain America was any cool at all. So I feel stupid for not having a Captain America shirt.
Captain America's pretty awesome, but good movie. I want to see it again.
Well, wait, no, we don't know if it's a good movie yet. We'll find out after this break. Hey guys, we're back, and we're gonna start off by talking about the trailers because they played trailers before this movie, which is something new. They normally don't do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
never before seen.
So the most exciting one for me was Star Wars because I've seen that trailer like 4 times on my little phone. Well, I have a big phone, but on my big phone. But I got to see it on a giant screen that's like curved and pretty and in 3D. Oh man, that opening shot in 3D.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
It adds so much. Like 3D has always been really cool to me. I like 3D, but it's never added that much. That was beautiful. It made me like almost tear up again. And then the rest of it was kind of predictable
well,
because I'd seen it a lot of times.
I think the flying looks really cool in 3D also.
Everything looks really cool. Oh, it's going to be really good. I'm going to see it in giant IMAX 3D, probably, with Austin. What did you think of Star Wars trailer? Even though we talked about it in the last video that we haven't uploaded yet.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, you know. I'm honestly not quite as blown away as everyone else is, but...
I'm blown away that you're not blown
excited.
away.
Well, I mean, you know, you see a fair amount, but I mean, honestly, it's not like super amazing from what we see.
Oh, it's gonna be so awesome! It's gonna have Anakin, and
how do you know?
it's gonna have Anakin because it's Star Wars. They all have Anakin, and it's gonna have Ewoks, and there's gonna be sand people.
I didn't see any Tusken Raiders.
It doesn't matter. They're all gonna be in it, man.
It's not even on Tatooine, dude.
What? No, it totally is. There's sand everywhere.
It's not Tatooine.
It's the sand moon.
It's
planet.
a completely different planet.
Ugh. You don't know anything, man. And we're gonna see Uncle Owen is gonna be in it. Oh man. It's gonna be...
Now you're just, like, intentionally messing with me.
I was this whole time. None of those things are gonna be in it.
I don't know. He does say what sounds like the voiceover of Luke's. Does say, when he's talking about the Force, my father has it. Present tense.
So you think that he came back? But he was a Force ghost. We saw him as a Force ghost.
I know, but...
Is he a Force ghost that uses the Force?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You know, honestly, I feel like, and I never really got that much into like the extended universe, even though that's not apparently going to be taken as canon or anything. But who can say really? I mean, death does seem pretty definitive in the Star Wars universe, but who's to say? Like, I mean, and I don't know. I'm still pretty new to Twitter, and I didn't really click on the link, but I saw something and say Darth Maul's still around in the Star Wars universe. So I'm like, what? Didn't he get killed a couple of times? But I guess since he got killed a couple of times, there's no reason why it would have to take the second time anyway.
I guess Darth Vader did get burnt to death once, so he could die and then get burnt to death again, and then still just be fine.
I don't know.
Maybe they put a suit around his old suit.
Maybe
so that
his brain is inside the new little ball droid R2-D2 thing.
You think that is Darth Vader?
It could be. You never know.
Do you think
who's to say if it's just a brain? I mean, General Grievous, you know, as his real form wasn't that big. I don't think he really. I think like his mask is like a war mask of his people or something. But everything else, that's mostly robotic stuff. It's just like the torso that's him.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. He like was in. Yeah, he was like in a horrible. It's like the precursor to Darth Vader, pretty much. Which is also why they gave him the rasping cough, which he didn't have for most of the cartoon when he was there. But, you know, he's supposed to basically, you know, be an even less human kind of cyborg Darth Vader type thing. But, I mean, you know, no force. And
we also saw Batman, or what was it? Man v Man.
Dawn of Movies?
Dawn of Movies, yeah. But now it's...
the Batman v Superman.
Now it's Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justin.
Yeah. Hashtag Chobot. No.
What?
Because that's the thing that... Because I watch the Nerdist News, and the host, her name's Jessica Chobot. She's pretty awesome. And I don't know if it started out as a mistake, or it's like her misspeaking it, but now every single time she talks about it, it's Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justin. And like people point it out as like, haha, but it's awesome, it's funny, and it's like still making fun of how ridiculous the title sounds anyway.
Well, now I feel really stupid if someone's been making this joke for like a long time.
Hey, it's the internet and everything's been done already. Anyway.
Everything has been done.
I
bet that people have already talked about Avengers and put it on the internet.
Well, of course, because people got to see the movie before we did, and people got to see the movie before they did.
I guess I've watched people talk about Avengers on the internet.
I'm sure, yeah.
What other trailer? Oh yeah, so Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justin. It in 3D. I'm still not.
Yeah,
excited.
It's a pretty underwhelming trailer all around, honestly. I mean, if we get something a little closer to when it gets released, it has a little bit more to it. You see, teasers, they're not like, I can't get super hyped for them. That's why, I really was not all that excited at all just from the teaser trailer for Star Wars, and even then, people were going nuts because it's Star Wars.
Wait, was Lex Luthor in Superman Returns?
Yes.
Okay, I don't remember that movie at all.
Kevin Spacey as Kevin Spacey.
It was Kevin Spacey?
It was Kevin Spacey.
Holy shit. Okay, maybe I need to rewatch that movie. I do own it on DVD. An unopened copy.
And he is awesome because, Kevin Spacey's awesome. And Lex Luthor is kind of hard to do badly.
So, yeah, we've never seen a bad Lex Luthor. I've never seen a bad Lex Luthor.
No, I haven't either.
And you haven't seen the old Superman movies where he's awesome.
Well, and Gene Hackman is an amazing actor, so it's hard for me to see him do badly anyway.
He's great because he's scary and funny, which is great. Oh yeah, that's our next topic. But I don't know if this is gonna be a good Luthor because we've got like a child playing Lex Luthor.
Well, it's hard.
I'm not very scared of children.
Well, he's not a child. He's like at least my age or a little bit older. Probably not much older though than me. But I mean, for the most part, people are pretty. I mean. Ben Affleck isn't exactly a young actor, but Henry Cavill is like only in his late 20s, maybe 30 or so. And, and who's to say what even his role is going to be in this movie? And before he even gets more involved, he might, get a little bit older or whatever. I don't know. It's hard to say. And see, with Lex Luthor, you can do so much because, the only thing you need is for him to be dangerously brilliant and to hate Superman. You don't have to have him do anything. I'm sure they're going to put him in a big robot suit and have him fight Superman at some point because, they're going to have Superman fight people anyway, especially with the direction the movies are going now.
Do you think there are going to be too many people in Superman? Because there's Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Lex Luthor, and who knows who else. Yeah. They might try and set up Suicide Squad a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Are they going to throw in Flash? Whoever the Wonder Twins
I don't know.
are?
I think they actually cut out, and I'm kind of sad about it, but I heard that Cyborg was going to be in it, but I think they actually cut his bit out. I don't know. But yeah, because, see, this is the thing, is they've already got their whole plan laid out for what they're going to be doing, even though they've hardly got any movies in this universe yet.
Oh, you were talking about their plan, and then it looked like you're going to throw up. Is it not a good plan?
Well, no, it's not that. It's just I had to burp a little bit. Oh. But, yeah.
Oh, man, those new
I don't know.
DC movies. They don't. They have it all planned out.
I do have such mixed feelings about it, because, when I first heard that there was even going to be a Suicide Squad movie, I was like, okay, that sounds awesome, and I thought it was really gutsy of them to lead with that so early, because it's going to be the third movie in the universe?
Maybe.
Because it's going to be the one that comes out after Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justin. I had to think about the title again.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, man. It's called Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's Batman. Everything's better with him. But
Man v Man, Dawn of movies.
But yeah. And, wait, what was I talking about? Third movie? The Suicide Squad movie. But the idea of the Suicide Squad is always so cool, because it's, the bad guys that have to go and work for the government and do all the, the missions that they don't talk about to everybody. But, I don't know. Some of the stuff I've been hearing I think is cool. Some of the stuff I'm not so sure about. They got the girl from The Wolf of Wall Street who's going to be Harley Quinn. And I don't know. That one, I think it could work. And Will Smith as Deadshot's a little unusual, but I think he could really make it work. We got Tom Hardy is going to be another guy in it. He's going to be like the the guy who works for the government, who has to kind of oversee him. He's not like their boss, but he's like, you know, the guy just under her that has to do it. And it's Oprah Winfrey might be
The boss.
Amanda Waller, who is like the, you know, the hard ass government lady who like isn't afraid to kill him just to show that's what she can do. I was like, oh, that could be amazing. But and then the Joker's gonna be in it though, and I'm not so sure about how I feel. Like seeing this latest picture.
Oh, that was just a promo for like some Joker anniversary or something.
Really, that's not
okay.
okay.
I mean, that's the actor.
That's Jared Leto,
and he's playing the Joker the same in that picture, but the tattoos and the costume are not.
okay. Oh, okay. Because yeah, the tattoos seemed a little silly. I mean, not that I could not see the Joker with tattoos, but I don't know. It just didn't seem incredibly well thought out, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I enjoy Jared Leto in most of the stuff I've seen him in. And, you know, I'm sure there was a whole lot of people who were really, you know, I don't know. I really don't know about Heath Ledger, but...
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, everyone was freaking out about the Brokeback Mountain dude being the Joker.
Yeah.
And now no one remembers Brokeback Mountain. Everyone just remembers
yeah.
fucking amazing Batman movie.
Mm-hmm. And actors, you know, they can always surprise you, so it's... But I don't know. It's... And then, I mean, I'm hearing it's gonna... You know, the Joker himself is gonna be kind of based off of the guy from... The one from Dark Knight Returns. And I mean, I'm like, oh, that could work, but I don't...
Isn't he really old in Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah, but it's gonna be a few years before the Batman movie comes out. And by then... Because Ben Affleck's already kind of old. Not old, but, you know, he's not exactly a young guy anymore. So, like, he'll get... you know, another 5-6 years older by the time the Batman movie rolls around, and Jared Leto will likewise get older. And they might even be, like, aging Batman up a little bit, like, making him have gray hair in this movie. So, who's to say how old he's really going to be? I mean, and if he's in, you know, like, his, you know, 50s or so, because, I mean, I think Ben Affleck's, you know, at least in his mid-40s or late 40s at the moment.
I mean, he's got to be a grown-up by
Yeah.
now.
I mean, it could work, but I mean, I'm not like as far like I walk into a Marvel movie expecting it to at least be good at this point. Like with DC,
yeah.
I'm always like,
I don't care about
I mean, it could work.
I still think that
but
Ant-Man is going to be really bad.
I don't see why you think it's going to be really bad. I mean, it's had a lot more issues than I think a lot of any of the other ones that they've gone through. You know, going into the pre-production, and there was like they lost the director, and that was a whole thing. But I mean, I don't know. I saw another trailer for it, and it still looks pretty good. I think it's
Okay, so the trailers we saw were the ones that we talked about, and then some other ones, but none of them were Ant-Man, and none of them are coming out before Ant-Man.
I mean,
which scares me because it can't be expensive to play a trailer for your next film before your current film. That can't be expensive. So I don't understand why they wouldn't advertise it. Like, hey,
true.
Marvel fans, there's another Marvel movie.
I haven't been to see a lot of
coming out.
movies in theaters lately, but I haven't seen one for Ant-Man in the theater yet.
We didn't see any Marvel trailers before. None of them. We
that's
saw
the only one that's...
Fantastic,
Yeah.
Batman v Batman, Dawn of Batman, Star Wars,
and then there was also Jurassic World.
Which was pretty
sweet.
Oh, I want to see that movie. As people are talking trash on the internet about it, but I love Chris Pratt. He is awesome. He has the best comedic timing of anyone that plays the type of character that he plays. And I don't know. I haven't really seen him in anything where he's an action star.
Well,
he's always been.
He did a fair amount of action in
star.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but that was like campy superhero comedy. I haven't seen him as an action hero, which
and I guess there's kind of been
exciting.
Well, there's been talk of, I don't know if it's serious talk, or maybe it was just a rumor about like him doing a reboot of Indiana Jones, which I could see. Maybe
I'd go see it.
Yeah,
hell yeah. But I also saw Indiana Jones 4 and was like, okay, I would see an Indiana Jones 5 that took place after that. Like,
yeah,
a lot of people hated it just on principle because of how different it was.
But it's also still it's Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
or Harrison Ford stunt double.
I've never
but
seen
still,
Harrison
it's
Ford,
Harrison Ford
in a bad movie.
Well,
Have I?
Most actors have been in bad movies,
But I haven't seen any of them.
No, not necessarily. That's true. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Expendables 3 wasn't amazing, but I still liked everything in it.
I also did not see it, so
I don't know.
there we go. Jurassic World. I want to see it. It looks
Yeah.
fun. Everyone is trapped on the dinosaur island. With
But yeah, it's
dinosaurs.
more terrifying if the park existed and worked for a while, and then something terrible happened when it's already full of people.
Yeah, they say in the trailer. Okay, so Jurassic Park is open to the public. Like, apparently they got over all their problems or whatever.
It might even be like an alternate world or something, or like the future at least.
I think that the first movie took place when the first movie came out. This movie takes place when this movie comes out.
That's true. A lot of time has
Of time has passed. Like, most of our lives has passed.
At least like 20 years. Well, I feel
almost
like it's
time.
got to be either even longer in the future though, because like only like 20 years or so doesn't seem long enough to get over the fact that a lot of people got killed by dinosaurs.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So it's open. Everyone can go see the dinosaurs. But they say every time we open a new attraction, attendance skyrockets, which means they've been open for a while.
Yeah.
So it is established. It
Well,
is like,
yeah.
I don't know, the third Disney World. It's been around for a while.
That's
People are
probably
just
why it's called. That's just what the park
kind
is
of
called. Jurassic World.
okay with it.
and
Maybe
it's growing so
Jurassic
big.
Park never opened.
Hmm?
Maybe Jurassic Park never opened.
Maybe. I don't
And
know.
this is Jurassic World. Like, if Disneyland never opened and they just opened Disney World somewhere else instead, maybe that's why it has a different name.
That's possible.
But anyways,
yeah.
they decide, well, we're out of attractions to open because we made all the dinosaurs, so let's make a new dinosaur. So they make a giant T-Rex with really long arms that can pick up minorities.
Well, I mean, I have no idea what it really looks like. They just said it's designed to be bigger than T-Rex. We didn't get a clear look at it, though.
No, we didn't.
That's the point.
So we have to go see the movie now.
Yeah.
See it.
And then it starts messing with things, thinking like a person. There was even a moment where I was surprised. I mean, they'd probably say it in the movie, but it was like she's getting smarter, and it was like there's a point where it's just about to eat somebody, and I was just like, clever girl, because that's what they'd said in the first movie, and it's gotta be there,
They might. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in like 20 years.
Well, I mean, we're at a weird point. It seems where we're rehashing the stuff that happened when we were kids, and there was another trailer we saw was for Terminator, the Terminator Genesis, not spelled the way
I've never seen a Terminator movie.
You've never seen a Terminator
movie, but I want to see this one because this one looks hilarious. So we have Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to fit in. He's the Terminator, and he's trying to fit in with our world and just be friends with What's Her Butt. And then What's Her Butt's son comes back from the future. No. What's Her Butt's son's friend comes back from the future to protect her from someone who's trying to kill her. And then it ends up being her son or something. I don't know. It seems like they kind of spoiled the plot, but I don't really care about the plot. I want to see action and Arnold Schwarzenegger say silly things. It looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Jingle All the Way as a robot in an action movie. And Jingle All the Way is the best movie ever. So that's why I want to see it, because Arnold Schwarzenegger is a very, very funny actor. But he doesn't get very many opportunities to show how funny he is. And it looks like now that he's older and he can't do as much action stuff, they're like, all right, tell some
I don't know. He's still kind of doing some actiony stuff.
Well,
I mean,
the computer CGI is doing action.
Well,
stuff.
yeah, but there's a point that's going to happen in the movie. I'm sorry, I didn't talk it for a while because it was just hilarious to hear you talking about all that. He's gonna see. It's weird because it's a version of him that also fights and beats the version that comes back to try to kill John Connor's mom. And it's weird because it's like the guy who gets sent back is the guy who gets sent back to save her in the very first movie, but history got changed or something, so they already knew she was coming. Then there was that other that it was the Asian guy, like a cop. That was supposed to be the Terminator from the second movie, which came back to try to kill the son. And that was the one where Arnold Schwarzenegger got sent back to protect him. But in this one, it's for some reason he's Asian now. I don't know why, but he's still cool because that was the one that could melt and transform and all the crazy shit.
Oh, his
Yeah.
hands turn into blades.
No, his whole body can transform. And
No, in the trailer, his hands turn into blades, which is a really cool concept. But they turned into blades above the elbow. So instead of him being like, I have blade arms, he was like, from like here down, like, I have blade arms. It just looked so silly. Like, I don't know, it looked silly to me. Like, he missed. He should have done the blades here, so he could bend his arms and like use his blades. But instead, he was like a little penguin, Asian penguin Terminator. I don't know. So I've never seen.
You're ridiculous. Dude.
This is what I think of.
I know
this
it's
is
hilarious.
what I think that Terminator movies
Yes,
are. Is they are action comedies starring Asian penguin murder robots.
Oh my god.
What else did we see? Or did you have anything to add about Genesis? Genesis?
It's just,
what is it? Genesis?
I'm sure it's Genesis.
No, I'm sure it's Genesis. Genesis. I don't know where the Y's are. You know what? They're all Y's. Genesis. Terminator. Genesis. Do you think they let Arnold name the movie? He's like, Genesis. They're like, what was that? Genesis. I'm like, okay, Arnold, it's Genesis. How many Y's?
It's just the one.
Where? Where is it? At the end?
Second to last.
Genesis. Genesis. Terminator. Genesis. Okay, we should. So do you have anything else to add about Terminator?
I don't think so.
Okay. What else did we see trailers for?
Tomorrowland.
I had no idea what Tomorrowland is,
It
but
looks
now
really
I want
cool.
to see it. And George Clooney said, "You wanted to see Tomorrowland. Well, it's coming," or something like that in the trailer. At the end of the trailer,
Yeah,
when I was like,
tagline.
"I want to see Tomorrowland," and then he was like, "Oh, you want to see Tomorrowland? It's coming," and I was like, "Wow, I want to buy that collectible Tomorrowland pin from Disney World." It looks really cool. I have no idea what it's about. Tomorrowland, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say. But what was cool for me when I was watching it is I just started rewatching House on Netflix just for random stuff, and I was like, Hugh Laurie is a really good actor. What's he been up to? And it looks like he's the bad guy or something in that movie. It's like, awesome, he's a really good actor. He'd be a good bad guy. I have no idea if he is the bad guy, but he kind of looked like it. Yeah. Because British people are always the bad guys.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that they all look the same. You're like, all the British people look the same. I was like, I've never heard that one
Not
before.
everybody of any people looks the same. That's just ridiculous.
I guess. But, are we done with trailers? I think we went through them all.
I think so. I mean, there may have been a Mad Max one, but I
There
also
was
may
not.
have watched a Mad Max one just on the
There was
internet
not,
tonight.
because I've never seen a Mad Max trailer.
Really?
So anyways, speaking of no group of people all look the same, Ultron.
Mhm.
Back to the movie that we were talking about this whole time. Ultron. All his robots look the same. So we're going to talk about Ultron, who I've never seen a robot with so much character. He was so awesome. I don't know who that actor is, but I'm sure you do.
James Spader.
Who's that?
See, I can't really remember that, actually. I just remember that that's who he's been playing.
Well, I know that he did a very good job because he was funny. He was so funny. He told so many jokes. Like, he was a sarcastic asshole. He was like... In Iron Man 1, Robert Downey Jr. didn't take it seriously, like, as a choice. Tony Stark didn't take anything seriously. And that bled through to Ultron. He was like, I'm
It kind of makes
I'm
sense,
gonna go
too,
kill everyone.
'cause-
But he doesn't really care. Like, he's sarcastic. He makes a lot of jokes. He's witty and punny.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice because he went, for what he was trying to do, he went, how artificial intelligence tends to in most fictional things. But, like you say, with all of his actions and stuff and his personality just as its own, it was kind of like it was what you would expect Tony Stark's kid to be like if the kid grew up to be a giant evil
murder robot.
Murder robot, yeah. And I thought that was a really good decision because it.
But then I was kind of confused. Was his grandson Jesus?
Vision?
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like there was some symbolism there between good and evil that I didn't quite get. Like, I got it at surface level. Like, this is a good guy. They tried to make a good guy and they made a bad guy, and he was here first.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You have to take good and evil together to make good.
I don't know. It's really
Or
hard.
maybe
to
good
say.
and evil together makes understanding. And that's what Vision was. Is he is understanding. He's like, well, I understand, Ultron, why you want to kill everyone, but also you can't just kill everyone.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm wondering though if they'll go the very odd direction that I mean they probably will, because you know who Scarlet Witch ends up dating?
Her brother?
Well, I mean that
Wait, really?
in the Ultimate Comics a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
That's kind of weird, but
that is kind of weird.
yeah. Well, I mean, but their relationship didn't really seem like that in this at all. But the thing is, Wanda
Wait, what?
tends to get together with robots a lot. She likes the Vision, and I think that might be where they might be going.
I mean, he's in such good shape.
Okay,
But
there was more
wait,
about her
no,
when
let's
she was
go
like
back-
touching his mind. And
Let's go
all
back
that
to the
stuff.
the brother sister mutant.
That was played up more when I read the Ultimate Comics. I'm not so sure it ever was so much in the other ones.
In
They've
the Ultimate
always,
Universe, are they actually brother and sister?
yeah.
And they actually date in their children's cartoon books?
I
I mean, you know, comics are
the
for everyone or
Ultimate
whatever,
Comics
but-
were pretty weird. It was like
Yeah.
because they always try to. It was basically like they were trying to go super extreme with stuff, and like in that one, Magneto turned out to be super really evil, like the guy who, like the biggest bad guy in the whole universe, basically.
And his
like,
kids were dating.
yeah, and it was
That's pretty
weird.
evil, man.
It's pretty weird,
All right then.
but yeah. But Wanda also likes robots, so.
I was really sad when the Hulk left. Hulk, he.
Well, the
Ruffalo
Hulk's-
was also always really good. Well, both times.
Well, and this time it might be nice because people were kind of complaining he's not getting his own thing, or this might give him time to wander around other people's movies a bit more as he tries to find himself and just finds himself in odd situations. And I heard he's going to be like in Guardians 2 or something like that, which would be cool.
My favorite thing is that the Hulk doesn't want to be there at all. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, like everyone's gonna die, and then there's one scene where everyone is dying, and he's sitting in the ships, pacing back and forth, and he goes to the radio and he's like, "Is it a code green? Like, do you guys need me?"
Yeah.
And then Ultron comes on and is like, "Yes," and he's like, "Oh, I guess I better go outside," and he just goes outside and is just walking around, like taking his time. Like, Scarlet Witch is like, "Oh, we have to finish the mission. We got to brainwash everyone." Spoilers. And she's like, "I want the big one." And Banner, not Hulk, Banner is just like walking down the side of the ship, like, la la la, I'm gonna go save everyone.
It was like, not, I mean,
And then she mind controls him, and he goes and like destroys the city and stuff, which is really
unfortunate,
sad.
but that
Yeah,
stuff like that always happens to the Hulk.
it does. Like, that's his
Yeah.
whole thing. Is he
It's
he just destroys the wrong thing all the time.
He just destroys everything. It's just when he gets unfortunately pointed at the wrong target or fortunately pointed at the very, very right target.
Like, if you had to describe Hulk in one word, what word would you use?
Smash.
Smash.
Yeah. I'm sort of surprised they didn't have him say anything in this one.
He didn't.
Yeah. He still actually hasn't even said Hulk smash himself. And, well, no, I guess he did in his movie, but it's hard to consider it the same
canon.
because it is a little bit because it's got Robert Downey Jr. in it for a second at the end. But
Oh,
aside from
really?
that, it doesn't have any other characters the same. His enemy hasn't shown up again.
I thought that his
The general hasn't shown up again.
I
It's
thought
not
that,
the same
that his
actor.
origin was just implied.
Well, I mean, I don't. It's hard to say.
Like, it's implied to be the same as
The Incredible Hulk
movie.
is a Marvel movie that is developed by the studio. It's technically in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just that none of the actors that appear in that movie have shown up in any other movies aside from Robert Downey Jr. for his cameo at the end.
But is it in the Phase 1 box set?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yes, it's the second one.
I didn't know that.
I mean, it's the third one after Iron Man 2.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like the second... Or maybe it even did come out before Iron Man 2. It's like the second one that came out.
So would you want to see a Hulk movie?
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like, I kind of don't see what a standalone Hulk movie would be great for unless it is Planet Hulk or something like that. But that's its whole other thing. I mean, and I could see that, because if they have him do Guardians of the Galaxy, he'll be out in space, probably. You know,
But could they do Planet Hulk in the middle of the Infinity War?
I doubt it. Well, see, what I think they're going to do for the Infinity War is the Avengers that are going to show up for the first one are not going to be, you know, the traditional lineup, which they already don't have the traditional lineup right now. But I mean, it'll probably change a little bit more too by the time the Infinity War Part 1 comes out. And then I think everybody else is supposed to come back and also team up with all the other people who are still around, I assume, for Infinity War Part 2.
I feel lied to if there's an arc called Civil War that no one dies in.
People
I don't want to marginalize anyone, but that only giant black dude dies in.
Yeah, but it was a whole thing because that was the point. Is they, you know, they're heroes, and you know they go through most of their life even when it wasn't at the war, the fighting and not killing people unless, you know, they're bad guys or mistakes happen or they're the Punisher or Wolverine sometimes.
Wait, what? Wolverine kills people?
Yeah, Wolverine kills people. He
What?
tries.
I thought those claws were for like knocking people's weapons away.
It can cut the ends of guns off sometimes, but
That's always convenient because you know that's how guns work. It's the end of the gun that makes them extra deadly.
well, it does make them extra deadly because it makes them go more where you're pointing and less. Because as soon as it leaves the barrel, it's kind of.
Yeah, but
anyway,
if you're close enough for someone to cut the end of your gun off, then I mean.
But that's the.
But I guess it wouldn't hurt him anyways.
That's always so silly. Why do people
Bob,
Why do people with guns get closer to the other people if they're going to shoot them?
I don't know, man. Have you ever fired a gun?
Yes.
Oh yeah, me too. Everyone has. Well, I mean, you know, we're not gonna talk about this.
Okay.
Superheroes.
Superheroes are awesome.
Superheroes are
I
awesome.
want another superhero movie.
Oh,
but I'll
I want
settle
one
for
right now,
seeing
but I don't really
Avengers 2
want-
another
I don't really
couple
want
times.
Ant-Man. I'm not excited.
It'll still be pretty cool. I mean,
I'm sure that I'm gonna go see it. Only if you call me though. I'm not gonna go see that movie by myself.
okay. I'll call
Like,
you
if
and we'll go
you-
see Ant-Man.
I'm not really that interested in it.
You should watch a little bit of Daredevil in your spare time.
Oh yeah. I feel
You'll
like
at
I
least
should
think
see
the
that.
Kingpin is really attractive.
Oh well, thank you for that.
And it's got Rosario Dawson for me, so.
I mean, I guess I should watch that show, but also,
Well, I mean, you might as well, because there's going to be 3 more, and then they're going to have their own little...
3 more Daredevil shows?
Not Daredevil. There's going to be 3 more other series that are going to have come out, and then they're going to have their own little mini-series, which is the Defenders. Which is going to be like their Avengers type thing, and they'll have their own... I think it's going to be like a mystical type bad guy to fight, honestly. I don't know. I'm kind of excited when I'm seeing some of the stuff they're hinting at after watching Daredevil. But I really love... I mean, I like comics, and I'm enjoying all of the, you know, visual media that's coming out of it being adapted. You know, all the TV shows, the movies. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, superhero. Well, I guess we're kind of obviously running out of things to talk about. So,
Civil War should be good, though.
well, they should all be good, but
Yeah, that's true.
one of these days they're gonna strike out and they're gonna make a bad movie.
But it's not gonna stop them.
It's not gonna stop them, but also it's gonna be Ant-Man. I'm calling it right now.
I'm not. I am, however, calling that I think Han's gonna die.
I think that Fan Four Stick will be better.
You think Fan Four Stick's gonna be better than Ant-Man?
Fan Four Stick, no. There's no way that Fantastic Four can be better than the last season of Arrested Development, which was about Fantastic Four. They got the song. I don't want to be... Sing it with me. Invisible!
Invisible.
Invisible!
Invisible.
Invisible!
I don't really remember it.
And they go, Fantastic 1! Fantastic 2! Fantastic 3! Fantastic 4! And it's... it's so... Oh, okay, so... We have reached the end of today's episode. Now, Austin, do you think that people should go see Avengers: Age of Ultron?
I think I'm going to go and see it again, so yes.
So yes. Now ask me.
Adam, do you think people should go see Avengers: Age of Ultron?
Nah.
Whatever.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this adventure. We will see you all the time.
All right. Thanks again.